Oh, hold on. Let me make sure my volume's ready.
Wow.
I know what a tease. What a tease I am.
Lowest of balls.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only morning show that has none of that Zoo Crew nonsense. Unless we give myself a soundboard, Scotty, and I have like a bunch of soundboards of like farts and doorbells and like, oh, you about to win a prize, ding dong, here comes the mailman, and then we open up like the mailbag and also. Anyways, I'm your host Ryan Knightstein. With me, as always, is Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just doing dandy. This wrestling week was everything I hoped it would be, and also everything I didn't want. So really gave us a dose of everything.
Yeah, it was a light week, right? A very light week.
It wasn't a light week before Thursday, and then it wasn't a light week after Thursday. I'm gonna have a lot of thoughts, obviously, but hey, at least Wrestle Kingdom happened this week.
Yeah, that was a good show. Pretty good show.
Yeah, somehow the biggest news story, at least US wise, is no longer the worst kept secret, but now instead it's the other worst kept secret. That yeah. But hey, Jack Morris has a GHC heavyweight title match, so
Yeah,
at least we're winning somewhere, baby.
Talk about actual news.
That's real news. That's real graps. that is what this podcast was made after. That right there.
Baby. UK wrestling is back.
He did beat Kaito after all.
UK wrestling is back, baby. Jack Morris challenging for the GHC heavyweight title. A guy he's beaten on his day one match. Outside chance of winning over here. This guy's got it in the bag.
If that man wins, then I'm just gonna feel like it's gonna be a win for the good guys.
you and I talked. I don't remember if it was on air or off air that we talked about the idea of like interviewing Jack Morris again, like on like a 1-year anniversary gimmick of like interviewing him again now that he's been in Noah for however long. If he wins this title, we're 100% going to try to interview him again and be like, "Hey man, the last time we talked to you, the topic was." Well, who is Jack Morris? And let's talk about that. And now it's like, well, now you're GHC heavyweight champion, my guy. It's been quite a year.
Jack Morris is, baby.
Yeah, coming to a company and 6 months later, winning the title.
That'd be insane. And showing massive improvement along the way. But credit to him. We haven't got to talk to him or talk about him much because he hasn't been in any signature matches. But you notice very easily. But, as much as I'd love to talk about Jack Morris and knock around the bush, we have to take this shitty story head on. So let's just do it.
Well, I got some news bits if you want to warm up into it. News bits.
I think bits is a lie.
News bites, news bits. Of course, we're going to talk about Wrestle Kingdom.
Sandwiches.
We're going to talk about Impact Hard to Kill. We're going to talk about the one, the only board ahead of the board. Well, I got some news bits, maybe some sad news bits for Scotty. In a post, Hiroshi Tanahashi wrote in Japanese, so this is Google Translate, but he wrote that New Japan Strong, which has been going on for over 2 years, will come to an end with this upcoming recording. It seems that overseas tournaments will be announced in different form in the future. Members of New Japan World, Pro Wrestling World, and strong viewers, yada, yada, yada. And then President Obari of New Japan also tweeted sort of confirming this, saying that, as my tweet is being loaded, saying that New Japan Strong is being rebuilt to adapt external and internal environments. We started it when the strict lockdown was forced, so we focus obviously on continuity. Fortunately, fans and we are about to overcome the pandemic. We should now focus over quality rather than quantity. So it looks like New Japan Strong is coming to an end. Whether or not it's fully over is one thing. There are some maybe rumors that maybe it'll pop up on this Honor Club idea. Maybe that's the idea there, or maybe TV. Who the heck knows? But looks like New Japan Strong is coming to an end, Scotty.
Ring of Honor, baby. This is weird. I think it's weird that this is kind of the direction they're going because I understand not wanting to like continuously run shows here in the US, I guess, without top talent.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't see how it makes sense putting it together with Ring of Honor if that's presumably what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting, but I mean, Ring of Honor might get a little bit more interesting than it was on the surface because I think Strong definitely had a lot of good talents on there. You know, the idea that maybe you get a little filthy Tom Lawler and Team Filthy, and you get Fred Rosser. Yeah, you got a couple good guys on there, and then of course the idea that New Japan guys can drop in from time to time. So I can't wait for Jay White to become Ring of Honor World Champion, since that's where he'll be wrestling for the foreseeable future, I'm sure. But it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I mean, I didn't watch Strong every single week because some weeks just don't have anything.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good little show. But if it production wise, if it's not worth it for them, I can see why they're doing that. I think they would be advised to try more bigger US shows than anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try those bigger, more important cards like Battle in the Valley, Capital Collision, all these shows that they've already announced.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see if that's what they do. They'll do more of those rather than just random Strong tapings that don't have uh enough to get people in the building.
Oh yeah, I mean, like these big shows like Battle in the Valley. I mean, Battle in the Valley is like like almost sold out now with the Mercedes Moné announcement. Now they've practically
Ah,
almost
man,
sold out the
but
tickets.
Ryan, she's not a draw. She's washed. She doesn't know how to wrestle. She's terrible. She's bad.
Not a
I thought,
star.
yeah, not a star. I thought it was all a waste. As Booker T said, it didn't work because she couldn't speak Japanese. None of it worked. It all failed. Everything about it failed.
Wait. You're telling me that NXT colored commentator Booker T
I
has an
know.
opinion about this?
No one knows what works and what doesn't work, like the commentator of NXT, current NXT, Booker T. But in all seriousness, it is good to see that show having so much success, with that being the only match announced as well.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see where we go. But I'm excited. I like where they're going because again, with Strong, it gave people opportunities, but at the same time, if you could put together a better Ring of Honor ecosystem and it involves some of these guys, and I'm in it because there wasn't that many strong wrestlers. And when I say strong wrestler, I mean like specifically strong. It's like roster.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I wonder if what it will be retooled as, if anything. Like maybe they'll just take parts of it, take AEW and New Japan, mash them in together, and then that's Ring of Honor.
Be kind of
Do that.
That'd be a good way to make Ring of Honor different.
It would. It would. That way you have take the best of
Yeah,
New Japan Strong and slap them in there. Fred
it'd
Rosser
make
and
me more inclined to watch Ring of Honor
yeah. Oh yeah, there was
because
a
then
lot
you
of
would
good people.
establish something very different.
There was a lot of good people. They discovered a decent chunk of
Yeah,
people. I would say that. I mean, all those like LA Young Lions were able to get way better, and Flip Ren Narita was getting better, and also there was a lot of great matches on there.
yeah,
They discovered some people, signed some people, lost some people because of various reasons. That I'm sure
it was
they
a good
won't.
show though. It
But
was a good
otherwise, yeah,
show. It got the job done, but I do understand why they would go for more of the quality rather than the quantity, and I agree with that. And I think that on the New Japan side is kind of what we talked about with the special events more so being their main US shows, which I think will work out really well. And if Ring of Honor becomes Ring of Honor Strong, and has a little bit of influence for both AEW and New Japan, then so be it. That should
yeah.
be that's more interesting to me than just a show that has like one or two top AEW talent, and the rest is AEW dark.
Oh yeah, and we should be set. I mean, they have an upcoming recording, but like they still have like a backlog of matches to
Yeah.
upload. So they're not going away tomorrow. They're gonna be probably around for like the next 3 months or something, something crazy like that. And they only upload like 2 or 3 matches.
Jack Morris liked my tweet where I said, "Go get him, Jack." So he's gonna get
my guy. He's gonna get it. That's what he's gonna do. We've inspired him now. Well, I got
let's just start right in the end there now.
I got other bad news for you, Scotty, and I know this is going to greatly upset you. But the National Wrestling Alliance also announced this week that their NWA All Access fight deal is no longer existing. NWA Power, NWA USA, and all the stuff, they're going straight to YouTube. First upload up to YouTube every single week. They're back there. The pay-per-views and everything will still be on Fight, but NWA All Access is no longer on Fight. So you can watch Power right now on YouTube moving forward. And I know that's upsetting, and I know that I'm sure NWA is upset by this. I'm really surprised that they weren't able to get that that GCW Fight code link to join whatever that indie wrestling boom was on Fight. That sharing code or whatever. But yeah, it looks like NWA is going back to YouTube. So Scotty, I know you're upset about this, but tell us, talk to the people at home. How are you feeling about this?
What took so long, huh? Like, what? How could? Why did this take so long? NWA stinks. It's a bad brand. It has Tyrus as its champion. What else do you need to hear from me? This company stinks. They unfortunately for some wrestlers there, like I understand that's the only work you find, but Billy Corgan sucks. He doesn't know what he's doing. Again, he made Tyrus champion. What more must I say? This place stinks. We're not going to talk about them anymore this year. They don't deserve our time. They don't.
Yeah, next week we were gonna have a conversation about like promotions we cover, promotions we don't cover, we're dropping and whatnot. And you know, I hate to say it, but I have a feeling that NWA is probably going to make the cut list.
They barely made it. They barely were on it anyways, but I feel like we need to make it official.
we need to put them out to pasture. Yeah, I you know what? I think to really sum up that point, Scotty, enough said. Which is coming to NWA Fight this month or whatever. Anyways, NWA. God, I mean, do you think that like obviously the point of like them being on Fight
was who goes
like,
to these shows?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where these shows are. They used to be in Atlanta, but I don't think they are anymore.
They're in a shack.
Do you think that this move will make them more popular because now more people have the ability to watch it because they don't have to pay for it? I mean,
I think it probably gives them a better shot, honestly. Yeah. That's how they got popular the first time.
Yeah, so. But it's my point to it's like I think more people could watch it, but then you're also talking about like the current product of NWA versus the product that pre-pandemic product of NWA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know who they have anymore. I think all this is gone. So
they got Odinson.
No, you don't have to go through them.
They got Odinson.
They got a bunch of no names, and then one or two like young talents that have climbed their way through and made a name, like Colby Carino. I know he was on there, and
who is now, by the way, now a free agent.
Now a free agent, rumored to be going to WWE. So, like, see, that's the good thing about companies like this is that it gives people a chance to be on TV and get TV time, and then hopefully get signed.
Yeah,
but I don't like NWA. I don't like the man that runs NWA. I don't like the champion of NWA. So thus, I cheer against NWA.
That minor level, like above indies, but like below like Impact, Ring of Honor, like that.
So GCW.
No, GCW, I guess, is actually kind of
it's
maybe
a little both.
Like, because they're probably built up the most, but it's like there's like indies, then like minor, then major indies, then minor promotions, then major promotions.
Yeah.
NWA, MLW, GCW, that tier is rough. That's a rough zone.
GCW, not GCW. NWA is easily my least favorite of the bunch. It's not close because the other two at least like try with certain things. NWA, I swear to God, does not try. They just like, how can we get worse?
Yeah.
right here, right now. How do we get worse?
Let's have a Gags the Gimp character. That's what we need. A Gimp character in 2023. Let's move on. Let's move on. Oh man, it was a pretty big week in the world of WWE. The power hierarchy of the WWE universe has shifted once again. Because I'll just go through news story by news story to just sort of get our vibes of how this is happening. So, I believe this was on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Vince McMahon from the
No, it was on Thursday. It was
Thursday. It's the 5th.
What's today? Yeah, it's Thursday. Because I think he went. Yeah, because Friday it was made official because SmackDown was on.
You're right. So it was. Oh yeah, because also Friday was January 6th, and the irony of that is weirdly not lost on me. On Thursday, from the desk of Vince McMahon, a press release was put out about his plot to return to WWE and to elect himself and the former co-presidents of George Barrios and Michelle Wilson back to the board of directors. This was from a Wall Street Journal that reported on his press release. Vince McMahon said that he had plans to return and in order to pursue a sale of the company. At this time, I thought it was just, a card he was playing. But, he then goes on saying in his press release that he has notified WWE and that he will not, as majority owner, quote, support or approve any media rights deal or sale if he was not named executive chairman to lead a review process. Because he believes that the only way for WWE to fully capitalize on the opportunity is for him to return as executive chairman and support the management team in negotiations for a media right and to combine that with a review of strategic alternatives. He also said he was bringing back George Barrios and Michelle Wilson. This all happens on Thursday. Wrestling World was like, what the fuck? What? Holy shit, this man has just put out his plan about what he's going to do. The board is obviously not happy about the board unanimously decided for him to not be in this company, but because he has the majority of the voting power, Vince McMahon, he pretty much just did his job because we woke up to news Friday morning that Vince McMahon is back to the WWE board of directors. And a SEC filing confirmed that Vince McMahon and George Barrios and Michelle Wilson were back in the chairs of the board of directors. Basically, where was it specifically? Basically, because he has the majority, the bylines or whatever. Basically, he has majority shareholders. He has most of the voting power. He basically just immediately snapped his fingers, and Dillon, Speed, and Wexler all got removed from the board. McMahon, Barrios, and Wilson all immediately added to the board. In addition to that, there was also 2 other board members, Lahoud, and Singh, also resigned from the board. So in one immediate fell swoop, the board lost 5 people and gained 3, one of whom was Vince McMahon. There was then, of course, an all-hands WWE employee meeting where they were told that Vince McMahon's return won't change day-to-day operations. There was a press release by Stephanie McMahon through WWE saying that
fat shits.
Yeah, so her press release was very factual. It wasn't really celebratory of Vince coming back.
Should it have been?
There's rumors, not rumors, but there are reports saying that there is apparently other things that the public don't know about Vince's scandal stuff that the board knows. That maybe that will come out, but is it a good idea to come out? I don't know.
I hope they do. Fuck him.
So before we get to the final bit of information about the story, let's just talk about Vince McMahon. In one fell swoop, this guy said literally a month ago, I got bad advice. I want to come back into this company. And we're like, all right, let's see what he does. A month later, he's like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Day later, I did it. I'm back in. I'm
Uh,
back on the board, baby.
uh,
Thoughts on Vince Kennedy McMahon?
I hate him. I truly, strongly dislike this man and everything about him. He is one of the biggest egomaniacs this world has ever seen. He is the reason his company isn't a over $10 billion company. He is the reason this company he is the reason AEW exists. He is the reason that wrestling wasn't as great for a lot of years there here in the US. He is the reason that his company's ratings declined to the point where they're almost unwatchable at points. Listen, I know like technically Triple H's reign has lower ratings, but guess what? That's how TV works now. Um, what Vince McMahon managed to do is absolutely sink them from one point to another to make sure that they were able to get lower and lower and lower. Vince McMahon does not know how to book anymore. Vince McMahon, many of his decisions he walked into, you can't tell me, you can't sit here and tell me he sat there and said, you know what, The Undertaker's going to be the greatest gimmick of all time. Yeah, he didn't say that. Uh, don't get me wrong. Vince McMahon had his many moments as ruler of WWE. He created many great wrestling moments that I'm sure many of us will remember and cherish. But he's done so much more bad than good to the world, not just wrestling, but to the world. He is a low life piece of garbage who does not deserve to be in any sort of power. But because he has the power to do so, here we are. He is able to maneuver his way into a spot of power. He is probably going to shift this all by I give it till WrestleMania at the latest, but it'll be a lot sooner, I'm sure. And I am just disgusted. It was expected though, right? Like when we all saw it come up, we are like, oh, so he's all right, so he's going to do it. And the only shame is that he has the power to do this. There's nothing they can do.
No, he has what 80% or something like that of the voting power in this company.
Yeah, it's a joke. That's what it is, right? That's the problem with that's why I think so many people, or the problem with a lot of what happens here, right? The same week that Dana White slaps his wife and the UFC doesn't get canceled and
But Power
Slap only gets it didn't get canceled. It only got moved back a week. It's going to be
really?
on
still. I didn't hear that part of the story. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, so that's my point. The same week that Dana White does that and his show is fine is the same week that Vince McMahon walks into power. You guys see the picture, you see the problem here. There's nothing the crimes and disrespect and whatever all these men do, it just doesn't it doesn't matter, I guess, to people because they just have the power to do whatever they want, and it's sickening.
Yeah, the sadness about like like I wouldn't. It's not necessarily capitalism or anything like that, but it's just like it's that thing of like at a certain point when you amass that much money, that much power, that like even like canceling, we're not even canceling a guy. Someone slapped their wife.
Oh, Vince McMahon's long been canceled.
Yeah, but like it's not. But I'm saying like, oh, we didn't cancel him. It's like the guy literally has so many accusations of sexual assault, rape, sexual manipulation,
being the worst human being ever,
paying off people with his own personal money, but because of how everything's tied into it, somewhat company money that he didn't write off properly. This guy just has so many bad things. He's such a bad human being. But because he has all this power, because he has all this money and all this stuff, that he knows that like he's essentially untouchable. That
Yep.
like just staying silent for a couple months can just will just come back in WWE. And you know for a fact that if he shows up on SmackDown, you know for a fact if he shows up on Monday Night
People are
Raw,
gonna cheer him.
people are gonna chant, no chance, da 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 da, no chance in hell. What the fuck?
Sounds like you've been practicing.
I have, of course, big fan, big fan. I love the character. I love the character.
Of
Don't get me wrong.
course, yeah, but the character is somehow less scummy than the human.
And the character
Mr.
really
McMahon
scummy.
is somehow less scummy than Vincent McMahon, the real human being.
But yeah, he's officially back. I mean, there are beliefs that the guy. I mean, I guess the question is why is he coming back? I was trying to think about that a lot. Obviously, I think there's like the power.
Why
element.
is he coming back?
Yes,
because his head's bigger than the fucking world itself.
Yeah. Well, no. That was my question. That's going to really get us to the next part. That was my question of why is this guy coming back? Is he just super bored and he thinks he can do it all and egotistical and stuff? But then you get the news story of
it's the game of if I can't have it, you can't have it either.
Yes, he suddenly realized at some point that he no longer had the actual control of the company. He somehow realized that.
Well, yeah, because here's the one thing for now that they could somewhat be okay with, and it's that while he has the power to get back in, they're not going to make dramatic changes on every front right off the rip in terms of the part that we see.
Yeah, the day-to-day operations.
Yeah, they're not going to change that immediately. They're going to change it. But right now, that's like the one thing they have. They have a little breathing room.
Yes.
Not a lot, but a little.
We're in purgatory.
Yeah, exactly.
But that could go out the window. What could change it all is JP Morgan report. That JP Morgan has been hired by the WWE to help lead sales.
That's when it became real.
That's when it became real. I said at the beginning of this that I thought that this entire time talking about, I'm going to help lead a sale and media rights deals. I thought he was just bluffing. I thought this was just him doing this.
Too.
And now they legit have hired a bank. It looks like WWE actually might eventually at some point at the end of this year, a property might own WWE.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. That's wild.
It's a little bit of everything, right? It's like wild, but at the same time, we've been talking about like a potential sale for a couple of years now. So it's like, it's always going to be wild if they got sold, I think, just because it's like, this is WWE. And, but I really was looking forward to the Island of Relevancy ride at Disney World. So I'm kind of excited.
I knew they've been trying to figure out something else for Tom Sawyer Island forever. And I think the Island of Relevancy, which is just WWE themed, is a great idea.
With them getting sold, right? It's like you are going to play the game unless it's Saudi that buys them. That I feel like any company that buys them is going to want major say in who does what and what goes where.
Well, that's what's wild about it is because a long-standing conversation about WWE selling to another company was that there is this weird belief that you can only sell the company if Vince McMahon is in control because Vince McMahon is the guy that built up this company and knows what wrestling is and knows what he's doing, yada, yada, yada. And now that he's back in power and selling a company, there's this idea that they might sell and keep Vince McMahon around.
Yeah.
But then it's the double-edged sword of like, well, you keep Vince McMahon around, but he is now, known to a wider audience that he is a sexual bad person. I don't know what the word would be. Go ahead.
It'll only get magnified if the company's sold.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think more is gonna leak out if there's a sale about to happen? Are you kidding me? That's how this
There's rumors
works.
that stuff will leak out now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows at this point? We're at a point where something could leak out about Vince McMahon at literally any minute, at any day.
Yeah.
So that's why he did this now, truthfully. I'm sure. Is that he's like, all right, I just need to get back in. Um, I've been under the impression for a long time with these two things. I think I've said them on the show because we have discussed the potential sale before. One is that NBC is probably the front runner, NBC, Comcast, Universal, because of their long term relationship that they've had. Right, they've been connected for decades.
Yeah.
And with Peacock having the network.
Yep. And USA being part of it, and
right,
there's Fox and stuff, but they can easily switch back.
And truthfully, if you're a WWE wrestling fan, that's probably who you want them to get sold to. Truthfully,
nothing will really change drastically if they go to
no. They just might get a ride at Universal Studios. That's about it. Which Island of Relevancy moved to Universal. Congratulations. And the second thing is, and I've always thought about this, and I do think it's an interesting thought, is that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, somehow gets involved. I've always thought that. I've always thought that because when Vince needed to get rid of the XFL, who got involved?
The Rock, baby.
The Rock. This is the thing that The Rock does. He's gotten to a point, right, where he wants to have a hand in things that have meant a lot to him in life. Mm-hmm. Football with the XFL, WWE. That's very possible. I don't think he's going to obviously be the owner or anything because he doesn't have that much money, but him being kind of the face of whoever bought him wouldn't be shocking if $7 Productions kind of got their head in there, just had a percentage, right?
Yeah.
I think that would be shocking. But either way, this is happening.
Yeah.
I do think the sale is happening. Once the bank came in, once that was reported, it's like, all right, they're actually doing
it. It became real. CNBC put out a great article of just putting through a bunch of names. You got Comcast.
Yeah.
There's a couple ideas we can talk about. Fox, obviously, with SmackDown currently be on Fox. I don't see that. I think with football and all the other sports, I mean, they could, but I don't see Fox happening.
Live entertainment, I will say, that is still a premium.
Mm-hmm.
That's why WWE still has. That's why WWE can still play ball.
Yep.
But Fox doesn't need it.
Now, of course, Fox in 2019 sold a bunch of their assets to none other than Disney. So Disney isn't always talking bid. I would say in another in a 2021, 2022 universe, I can see Disney being a viable option.
Pre-Vince McMahon being
I
announced as scum rather than secret scum.
I think now that that is more apparent to everybody. I cannot see Disney wanting to get in. Never mind. I was going to say get in bed with that. That's not a good term. In this instance, I do not see Disney wanting to do that. Warner Brothers Discovery, I don't see any reason why Warner Brothers Discovery, a company that doesn't even have enough money to do shows now, trust me, I'm on one of them. I do not see how they would even consider buying WWE. They have AEW, which has similar, if not better, ratings and like a quarter of the cost. So I don't see any reason why they would do that. Netflix, Amazon, any of these streamers, I think is a possibility. I think that's a solid possibility. There's some group holdings, Liberty Media. There's a conversation about the Saudi government is apparently interested in buying it, which would be fucking wild. The fucking Saudi Arabian government bought it.
Just sign me away. I couldn't do it anymore.
It is insane. Yeah, you hear all the conversations about, the day-to-day operations are not going to change. Well, the company is now, working with a bank to possibly sell this company. Whoever buys it can just do whatever the hell they want.
Eric Bischoff's coming back.
Eric Bischoff can come back.
They can do whatever the hell they want.
Ted Turner could buy it if you want to.
Buys them is going to do whatever they want.
Yeah, because it's their company. If Vince McMahon is probably going to sell it to whoever can keep them in power, probably. But because all those like that voting power and all that stuff that evaporates essentially, So he's gonna want something that gives him enough power.
The game that will be played here, I think, one, if you're a WWE fan and you want this product to not become just a content churning out animal that it already has been in many ways.
Yeah.
Then you really, 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 I think, want Comcast to step in.
Yeah.
Just because like they already have so much into it with the network, so it's like, all right, they know what they want. If you are, if you want to be able to have, let me rephrase. If you are a wrestling content producer or
if you're
podcaster, if you're us, you want everything in your power for them not to touch Saudi Arabia, because we're not. I couldn't touch it anymore.
No, yeah, I
couldn't touch it in doing coverage. I could touch it in making fun of them. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
we do that already.
The chaos that will unfold if that happened.
But it, and then there's the part of just going to the fan in you and thinking of WWE and how at least for me, started me as a fan. It's like I want everything in my power for them not to just fold like that.
Yeah.
Into the worst possible form.
Yeah, me too.
But you also kind of expect the worst with this company and with who runs it now. Or again.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, now it's like he had the voting power, but now he has like a modicum of control of the company as well. There were reports that he wants to get back into creative, but that is not seeming going to be happening. So
listen. Just get me to WrestleMania, guys. Like, I don't care. I don't care about WWE majority of the year. Actually, you know what? Just get me through the Rumble. I don't give a shit about anything else after the Rumble. Okay?
Well, that's also what's wild about it, is that it's not just sale, but there's the media rights deal conversation. Like that the media rights conversation.
That's what changed it all, is because he said he wouldn't say yes to anything.
Yeah, but like that's part of it, is that they will probably start negotiating for
that's
media
their
rights.
Lifeblood. Shout out Juice and company.
And Finley and Tennille Dashwood. They, part of that is that like they're going to start negotiations for their new media rights deals in like the spring of this year.
Yeah.
So you're not just like selling the company, but you're also selling like the probable TV shows as well, of like, hey, buy our company, buy our TV shows. If you're Comcast Universal, hey, buy this, and then you'll get SmackDown back and all this other stuff,
Right.
You're going to get these things back, and I don't know. I mean, at the same time, AEW is going to start also negotiating their media rights deal. That's going to be interesting to happen at the same time. This whole thing's wild.
I think Vince McMahon jumping back in any form helps AEW so much. I said this
100%.
I said this on Twitter. But we started to watch AEW crumble in a lot of ways. Not crumble, but problems occurred.
Crack maybe.
When there was no more Vince McMahon to fight.
Yeah.
And I said on Twitter, now that he's back in the fold like he is, I expect the wrestling world to come together and everything to become shiny and rainbows again. And AEW, who's very much on their way to becoming a extremely hot product all over again, because Tony Khan, got his guys back and his shit together. They're going to take off again, because that's what happens. You see all these people that do not like Vince McMahon figure their stuff out. When Vince McMahon started, when these rumors started, I was like, oh my God, CM Punk's going to come back. This is going to happen. He's going to come back. He's going to be in AEW. All this stuff's going to happen now, just because that's what this man does.
Yeah.
He drives everyone else to be better because everyone fucking hates him. That's what's going to happen. And I guess we win in that aspect, but we also don't win.
The Freakazoids win.
Has power.
The Freakazoids.
Yeah, the Freakazoids win. But I'm not even kidding. I do think AEW is about to like launch again, anyways. But now with this, it's like, oh, it's inevitable.
Well, they're also
But
like for media rights deals, they're such like a better viable option. It's like they are a company that has no baggage. They are not
no,
a stock traded company, so it's easier, to deal with all that
yeah.
nonsense.
I feel
And then also, it's like they're literally a quarter of the cost. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and they have good ratings. So you're going to get more money on your return.
I know they'll probably just stay with Warner.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony Khan should absolutely not be afraid to see what's up.
Well, you have to shop around. You have to shop around, and not just AEW, but Ring of Honor as well.
He worries me sometimes because he's so loyal, truthfully. Which is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some big dogs out there that are going to be interested. I think that's part of the reason Ring of Honor is not on a network is because he's too loyal.
Agreed. Agreed.
Also, there's no product to show what it would be, but maybe in time, I think you could definitely get Ring of Honor on TV, by showing what it is. But this is your time, Tony. You're telling me this LA Forum show wouldn't have plenty of viewership on a slightly bigger network? Like, this is a big show for many reasons, and I do think, while the numbers are up and down, if you put them on a big network, they're automatically going to be bigger. And
oh yeah,
they have a real chance here now where WWE heads back into bad faith.
Yep.
To take control all over again. That's what happened. The war for names and the war for signing people.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about all the signings that have happened too.
Could end very soon again, right? For now, I think it's fine, but anyone that's dumb enough to sign with WWE in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with sales too, though. Cuts are going to come.
Yeah.
Like, that's guaranteed. That's what happens when you sell. So I feel bad for the wrestlers. I know people can be like, well, they went back, but no, I'm gonna feel bad for the wrestlers because I'm sorry they went and tried to get money for their job. It's like,
yeah,
you would have done the same thing, especially if Vince McMahon wasn't in power as he is now.
Yeah, if you thought the guy that fired you was gone,
Yeah,
like, okay,
exactly.
I'll go
so
back.
I do feel bad for the wrestlers because I think a lot of the people that got brought back are in trouble. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of the people already there before Vince McMahon left are in trouble.
Well, I mean, that's the concern, right? Is that I don't think as board of director that he
Uncle
would make
Howdy's doomed.
Less Uncle Howdy, the
Pitch
lore
black
director
match is going to be the thing he has to least worry.
The director of lore is going to get cut immediately. I mean, I don't know how much power in that sense a board member has. I doubt they're not going to make any decisions on roster cuts and all this stuff. But
I'm just saying when you get sold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you get sold, if whoever is now running the management team of day-to-day operations, I mean, there's a real possibility that like WWE
Bray might be saved. Maybe they want to make that a ride.
Ooh, the Haunted Mansion with Bray Wyatt. Uncle Howdy's Haunted Mansion.
And Ramblin' Rabbit.
And the Fiend. And then the coffin bride thing where it's like pushing it up.
Oh yeah.
It's just a glove hand that's his hurt.
They just rebuild the Haunted Mansion to be the Firefly Funhouse.
The Firefly Funhouse. Oh man, it's just a glove that says hurt. It's just opening.
Honestly, I think the Haunted Mansion needs a rebuild, so this might actually work out for them.
Oh man, that would be fun. God. And then instead of the Grim Grim goes through the social that song that plays at the end, it's just the Funhouse theme. It's just getting sung.
Oh, this is so bad.
Oh God, God damn, man. I don't know. Like, there's a real possibility that like by the end of the year, WWE is sold to something. The management team has been like Triple H and Stephanie are out. Nick Khan is out. I don't think they will all be out, but it's possible. Because the idea is like, what are you selling this company as? Are you trying to If you're Nick Khan, you're selling it as a sports right thing. But like, are people going to treat it like sports, or are they going to treat it like this is a TV show we're buying? Like how is it viewed in that sense? And I don't know. Like, there's a possibility that oh well, we don't care about the wrestling. We just need good storytellers. So let's just hire good TV writers and executive producers from television shows so that they can write all this stuff. And we get the situation we're in now with WWE, sort of just worse. Of the wrestling doesn't really matter. It's more about the stories that they're telling versus wrestling. And the wrestling just is in the way of the storytelling. It is frustrating. It is hilarious. It is just baffling this past week.
It's disgusting. This is everything. Every adjective you could think of to describe this, it fits.
What a year to start for WWE. Like, I literally, someone might own WWE by the end of the year. But not even the end of the year, like the summer, like June, someone might own the company.
I think we could get rumors of someone about to acquire them very soon. If this gets serious really quick.
I mean, the stock market's shooting up because people are thinking those sales coming.
I think anyone that has gotten to enjoy the Triple H, Nick Khan, Stephanie McMahon run era of WWE, you have until WrestleMania. I think that's why you won't have much change, because this is a tough time to scrap every plan you have. It is because, not that Vince McMahon wouldn't scrap plans, that is his entire being.
His MO.
But I am saying that I do think that if you enjoy this product, try to enjoy the final few months of it as it is, because no matter what, it's not going to be the same. No matter what, it's going to change. Whether they get sold, whether Vince McMahon lasts long enough to do something about it.
So Weasel's like back into the management team.
Yeah, so just try to enjoy it, I guess. Because I'm happy you got your year. I mean, I will say, while Raw and SmackDown aren't infinitely better, they were both better. While I'm saying WWE's product overall wasn't infinitely better, and he brought in a lot of useless human beings. Shout out Hit Row. It's still better. There's still better matches on the main roster. There's still better professional wrestling. It's a more natural show, but yeah, it's over now.
Do you think Ryan Satin has tweeted about this?
No.
I'm just looking through.
I hope someone walks out. I hope someone in them has the gall to walk out eventually.
Yeah.
If this guy takes over day-to-days again, which he will. I hope someone has the... CM Punk did it a decade ago.
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
Moxley sort of did it.
Moxley did it. Well, Moxley did it the best way possible, which he's like, yeah, I'm just going to take a break and, I'll come back. And then he did. He didn't come back. He absolutely ripped them a new one. It was fantastic. Pac walked out. Show some cojones here.
Ryan Satin didn't tweet about it once.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
He has only retweeted the Washington Journal, the journal about Vince McMahon plots return to WWE on the 5th on Thursday. Raj Giri tweet, then tweeted how great the movie Barbarian was. Tweets about Elon Musk, and then retweets that Vince McMahon's back on the board of directors, and then that's it from Ryan Satin.
He's a bitch.
Doesn't tweet about it ever again. The only other time and then he retweets MJF's tweet about, I feel like I don't talk about how much I love Comcast, Fox, Disney, Warner Bros. Discovery, Netflix, Amazon, just the whole list from CNBC. Doesn't tweet about it once, this guy.
Yeah,
but he's going to tweet about how great it is that Vince McMahon is back on television. When Vince McMahon shows up on SmackDown.
How do I say this? I'm very happy that Ryan Satin isn't a name in wrestling media as much as he once was.
He is.
Can we talk about good stuff now?
Yeah, let's move on. This whole story is wild, and we're obviously
depressing.
I mean, is it? Is it?
Yes, Vince McMahon having no repercussions and getting to walk right back into WWE.
Oh yeah, that's depressing. I thought you were talking about the sales
stuff. I don't give a shit about.
I thought you were talking about the sales. Like the sale, I don't know. That's not that depressing.
No, the sales, whatever. That I always thought that's why Nick Khan was brought in.
Yeah,
like that's why he was brought in. The sale was never a crazy idea to begin with.
Yeah,
it's just that's not. I don't care about that. No, I'm saying it's sad that we are sitting here now and Vince McMahon is back on the board of directors at WWE. Is probably going to be more within the next
month,
6 months. Month. He's gonna be more. Yeah,
he's gonna be on the management team in a month from now.
Let's just hope they're focusing on the sale very quickly because this guy needs to go away.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's not. He's here to stay, baby.
What story can come out that he can't bounce back from?
I was gonna say Vince McMahon himself murders someone.
No shit. That might be the only limit because finally he has to go to prison for it. Yeah, I don't.
It's rough.
Is that where this is going? Because obviously this guy isn't gonna die. So like, is he just like gonna go to prison? Is that how they get him out of power? That something he does is so bad that he has to go to prison?
I mean, he's straight up like he's raped someone years ago, and right now we're in the process
that's my point. It's just like
the process of just like I'll have money, please.
This man is ridiculously. He's so untouchable, despite being one of the worst, biggest pieces of shit we've seen.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's talk about good stuff.
Let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom 17. Let's talk about the Tokyo Dome. Let's talk about New Japan. What a show this was. Wrestle Kingdom 17.
Ryan, let me ask you a question.
Sure, hit me.
Is there anyone smarter than Mercedes Money this week? Is there anyone just sitting back, chilling, and saying, I think I made the right choice? More than Mercedes Money.
Literally, the Wednesday she's doing this, we hear all the reports that, she's inviting all of her friends and family or whatever to come over. I'm sure she's super nervous. She kind of looked nervous when she was on stage, and she obviously didn't really hit the move right. So I'm sort of the nerves and all stuff are there.
Bad move to do, just first shot.
Yeah,
by the way.
I agree.
It's way too much.
And then the next day, the reporter of Vince McMahon comes out and is like, "Whoo! I made a good decision, didn't I?"
The New Japan releases that this was the most watched Wrestle Kingdom on New Japan World, with 30% coming from here in the U.S. live.
Yep.
But
and then Ryan, the Battle of the Valley tickets practically sell out.
Oh my god. This is the week of money, people, and we'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh man.
I just wanted to give her credit because someone was right in all this, and it was always Mercedes Money.
Yeah. What a great decision to do. What great timing. What great timing. Well, let's talk about the show. We'll start off. Should we do the main event stuff first, or do you want to go?
Let's do the main event and then let's kick it back because we'll talk about the real main event last.
Perfect. Okay, so the main event of the show was the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match between Kazuchika Okada and Jay White. I thought this match was fantastic.
I did too.
I thought this match was fantastic. I saw you tweet out a thing saying that. I think you tweeted this out in the moment of. The match just ending, that the match deserved a rewatch because it just happened after the Ospreay Omega match. But when I watched it at work, and I watched it like an hour in between, so I had a little bit of minute to do.
Yeah,
I thought this match was fantastic. I thought this was, despite being a 30-minute match, this didn't felt like a 30-minute Jay White slog.
It was like the fastest Jay White match I've ever
yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. I thought this was fantastic. I went 5 stars on this.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought this was a fantastic match. At times, I considered, was this better than Omega Ospreay? I really like this match. Because it didn't, we'll talk about the Omega Ospreay match, and I think I like that match a lot as well, but I think that also had not necessarily a bad thing, but what we talked about in our preview, that there was a concern that they will know that there are future matches ahead of them, and I think the
Yeah,
Omega Osprey match, they did know that that was happening. Okada White felt like a finale, felt like a
yeah,
finality to Jay White and Okada, that this is their last match. They don't have anything. We're leaving it all out there, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. I thought Jay White's work was excellent. Okada obviously showed up. I love me some landslides. I love me his whole new move set. I'm loving all of it. I thought this match was fantastic. I thought Jay White post match was very interesting. We got hints of that sort of desperation that we got in that Ibushi match from years ago that I loved with Jay
mhm,
White. We didn't quite get full over the top there, but we definitely
yeah,
got parts of it of just like being desperate and trying to cling to, holy crap, what do I got to do next? And I think that's just the perfect spot for Jay White to be in, of like, he has no idea what to do next. The guy is, he's great. It's like Mike Tyson. He's great, but the farther he gets into a match after doing all of his moves, he's like, I got nothing, man. What am I gonna do? What do I do next? So
yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. But what do you think of this match, Scotty?
Oh, I thought it was tremendous. I thought I I will say I do think that Osprey Omega's better.
Sure.
I also think that's one of the greatest matches I've seen, with the room to be greater,
Hmm.
because that's kind of just what those two guys do.
Yep.
But the reason this match is so great, as in Okada and White, is because this isn't the first time, right? This isn't the first time. This is the fifth or sixth time.
Hmm.
Um, and I think what I've noticed is Jay White and Will Ospreay switch roles, right?
Yeah.
Jay White was the guy that people were hoping to cheer for down the line, and we saw it after that Ibushi match. It felt like there was a story being made to kind of turn this guy over. And now we're kind of seeing the reverse, where a lot of people are down on Jay White and kind of just hoping for him to do something new. Yet, no matter what, Jay White is an excellent pro wrestler. Maybe had my favorite match of his here, in terms of he didn't do a lot of what makes a Jay White match. When the crowds were back to do so, he didn't do that. What he did was go out there and have a New Japan Wrestle Kingdom main event. That's what he did. This was the most, and I want to give credit to Okada, because this is the most physical and demanding version we've seen of Kazuchika Okada in who knows how long. And I do think there's something to be said about Kenny Omega walking back through that door that
Yeah.
may have pushed him to be here again, truthfully.
Yeah.
That matters to Okada, I think, more than some may think. And it created a fantastic match. It's the type of match that they needed to do something different, and by doing something different, it ended up being they didn't do what you expected them to do. They just went out there, they beat the crap out of each other, they told a story, and they went home. And it was a great main event. I think with Jay White now, it'll be interesting to see where he could go and what he can do, because he's someone that has all the intangibles, is very young. I think he's a guy that would succeed in every which way if he came to the US. I've said that before, I'll say that again.
Hmm.
But he does have unfinished business in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
I think there's still this whole side to him when talking about that babyface, and how him and Osprey have changed so much, in terms of Osprey being the guy that everyone hates and no one wants to anything to do with him. And now we're leaving this show, and I think Osprey's on his way to being the biggest international babyface since Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
It's an interesting conversation to be had, but bravo to these two. Bravo to Okada, bravo to White for, you know, I think moving past the noise and putting on a terrific match. Again, it's asking a lot, but you had back to back two of the best matches I've seen back to back in Wrestle Kingdom in a long while. It's just people happen to overlook it because Okada, not Okada, Omega and Ospreay
was just so
I
great.
think this match deserves so much respect too.
Yeah, it's definitely a match that deserves a rewatch separate from Omega Ospreay.
It's my number 2 match of the year after 1 week, if that matters to anyone.
We'll see how much that holds.
And there's been a lot of great wrestling this past week. So
no, I thought this match was really great. I was super into it. It's interesting that you say that like Ospreay could be the next number one babyface, international babyface, because it's a very interesting idea. Because it's like if that's the case, where does that put Jay White, right? Yeah. Like he is someone that his heel character is starting to run its course, starting to run stale. Maybe for a lot of people, it's already gotten to that point. I think
it's Bullet Club more than anything.
And I agree. Right? If you shift up Bullet Club, maybe that can fix things for him. But then it's also like another thing that would fix things is either leaving New Japan altogether, which we'll see, I guess, coming up, or turning face. But do you have Ospreay and Jay White as face? I don't know. I don't know if you do that. You had them both as heels, so why not have them both as faces? But who's heel then?
People aren't going to like this, but Jay White often shows a lot of what I wish MJF would. In his overall ability. Because I think he's a great promo. I think he's a phenomenal storyteller. And he's a tremendous in-ring pro wrestler when he just goes out there and does something like this match, right? And though you and me have talked about it, the match with Kota Ibushi is also phenomenal, which is a very different match.
Yeah.
But I mean, I look at him, I look at MJF, and I see a lot of comparisons of who these guys are and what they go for as pro wrestlers, as the heels who try to get heat.
Yeah.
And I think he's so much more natural at it because he doesn't do the cheap stuff as much. Right? Like I watched that MJF promo with Danielson this week and I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Both sides, awful.
It wasn't just Danielson was real bad in that too.
Danielson did the mom jokes. MJF was just screaming and bringing up all the people that the wrestling fans are like Eric Bischoff and so on and so forth, right? It's like, how many times are we gonna do this cheap heat stuff? Like, and that's not what Jay White does.
Yeah,
Jay White doesn't do the cheap heat stuff. Jay White drives the nerve, and then when he fails, and we don't see MJF fail much, but when he fails, it isn't screaming and yelling and saying, "Oh, you're a loser." It's, "Oh, I'm the loser." And I don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the big difference I see between them. And I see people have complaints about both of them all the time. But it is interesting because they both are the same style of wrestler, of course, as the mega heels who do heel tactic and whatnot. But I think this match kind of reminded me that Jay White can be that good. He can be at the top of this business in many ways. I don't think he's leaving New Japan, but I do think that every time he comes back to the US, he would benefit from being on AEW or Ring of Honor rather than Strong, which might be happening. So
yeah, I think you're totally right. I think this upcoming year is going to be a very interesting year for Jay White. Okada's going to be fine, obviously. And we're just all this conversation about Jay White. But I think it's going to be a very interesting year for him to see what he does next from all this. Whether he turns face down the line, whether he just leaves altogether. I mean, people still have no clue what's up with his contract. I mean, I would love to see him stick around, eventually turn face or something, maybe head off to AEW for a little bit, Ring of Honor for a bit. That would be great.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. It's just,
I mean, he worked in everything. Why can't he work in Ring of Honor, right? It's like he worked in Impact.
He used to work in Ring of Honor. That would be a fun little.
And I thought he did great work in Impact, truthfully.
I did that Alex Shelley match was
very little. Yeah, it was very little time he did there. I thought And that's the Jay White I think we saw a lot in this main event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is rather than doing the whole storytelling up the wazoo and being super heel, we saw, okay, let's just beat the crap out of each other. Like, it was a fantastic match. When he hit that switch, not the switchblade, that's his nickname. When he hit the Blade Runner on Okada, that was one of the best near falls I've seen in a long time, because it's like, well, no one kicks out of that move. Just tremendous match.
I love it.
And I do want to give Jay White praise, because I think he got a lot of hate this week.
Yes,
people got sick of his reign, which I understand. He didn't do anything.
It was a terrible reign.
Terrible. Oh, it was awful.
Terrible reign. I love
awful. The main event had no heat going into it, but they had natural heat, like we talked with Chris last week.
Yeah, but say what we talked about is that, like, even if they have no heat, the match is gonna be fantastic.
And I like how you said it felt like a finale.
It did. It 100% did. And you know,
so that's the thing with Okada, right? It's like everyone needs to beat Okada. That's literally Ospreay and Jay White's life.
Yes.
Though Jay White's beaten him, Ospreay can't.
Ospreay can't beat him. Jay White can't beat him and can't win a main event at the Tokyo Dome. He has every other accolade except a Tokyo Dome main event win. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Let's talk about the beginning of the show. We'll start at the beginning here.
Boltin Oleg, baby.
Pre-show, Boltin Oleg versus Ryohei Oiwa, 3-minute time limit draw. You know, quiet little match here.
Oleg's gonna be good.
Oleg seems interesting.
Yeah.
Oleg
He's
also
so different.
Do you see that he also looks like he speaks fluent Japanese in his post-match presser?
Yeah. I think this guy's gonna be
you know,
he's a wild card.
You know what vibes this guy gives me? And it's the singlet, it's the cauliflower ears, it's the bald head. I'm talking Vegeta, baby. I'm talking old Ironhead. Old Ironhead Oleg over here.
I think it's very intriguing to see what a amateur Olympic level type wrestler can do in the Young Lion system.
I mean, well, I bring up Vegeta because if I'm not mistaken, Vegeta was an Olympic level like wrestler. Like a lot of like Nagata, a lot of these like guys started off as like amateur wrestlers who then turned pro wrestler. A lot of them as Olympic hopefuls. I mean, Jeff Cobb.
I know Nagata teaches their team.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, and you know, obviously Jeff Cobb being another guy that turned from Olympic hopeful. Kurt Angle, obviously, famously. But like,
if this guy's anywhere near Kurt Angle, then they're gonna do pretty well.
A lot of like a lot of these New Japan guys have been always like built up from amateur wrestling, and he looks good. He has a great size.
The current Young Lion system.
Sure, we haven't seen a guy like this forever, and I'm getting Vegeta vibes, baby.
He looks like a guy.
I'm getting Vegeta vibes.
I like that they let him have the singlet too. He also ran everywhere.
Yeah, he did not have black trunks. They gave him a straight up singlet in his first match. They're pushing him. He is a guy. We didn't win the match here, but still.
No, but it was 3 minutes. I thought it was entertaining for a 3-minute exhibition match for a guy I'd never seen in my life.
Yeah. If this guy's charisma can work, I'm telling you, he's gonna be the GHC heavyweight champion in no time. Oh, Scotty left. All right. Okay, we're gonna move on then to the pre-show. New Japan King of Pro Wrestling title, right to challenge / Rambo. It was your classic Rambo of people wrestling in it. I don't know. It was fine. It's a fine Rambo. Great-O-Khan, Shingo Takagi, and Sho. And Toriano all won here. We didn't really do the Toriano funny bit. At least I don't remember anything. I'm looking at this and I don't remember anything of this Rambo, and it's been a couple days. I don't know. Did you care about this Rambo at all?
No, I thought it was very boring.
I didn't think it was bad. It was just like boring for me.
It made me sad how many wrestlers of importance were in it. Jeff Cobb, Shingo, Taichi,
Kenta, Evil.
Just 4 guys, you know.
Ishii, I guess, is sort of being phased out. Shingo, obviously.
Just 4 guys.
And then, obviously, you know, on New Year's Dash, Shingo was able to get the title again. So, boom, bing, bang, boom. There you go. But there's ideas that, you know, he's now challenging. Shingo's now going to be challenging Okada moving forward.
Yeah,
so
baby.
Maybe the idea there is merging of titles.
AK getting rid of that would be really weird because they just debuted that belt.
Hey, if they're getting rid of New Japan Strong and that was a quality or was it content over quality or whatever it was, maybe getting rid of the KOPW title is the same thing.
Now that they have the Never back, they're like, maybe we don't need it.
Well, we'll get to that. The other 6-man tag match: Satoshi Kojima, Togi Makabe, Yuji Nagata defeated Minoru Suzuki, Tatsumi Fujinami, and Tiger Mask. The Sasha stands were very confused about how hard these old guys were wrestling.
Yeah, they were absolutely ripping on Ric Flair, which I love.
Best parts, ripping on Ric Flair. He has no involvement in this match whatsoever.
Best parts of this match was between Minoru and Cozy.
Yes. Oh yeah, because Kojima can still very much go.
Yeah, the Kojima sent down not retirement, but waste of the past couple of years. I'm very happy he went to Noah to not waste away because this dude's still very good.
Yeah,
and we know Suzuki is so. And Suzuki's got a new group, which I'm very excited about.
For in All Japan?
No, in New Japan on New Year's Dash.
Oh yeah, well I wasn't sure if that was.
It's not a group yet, but it's a alliance that I hope becomes a group.
Yes, but I do know that he has a new group in All Japan.
Yes, which is also actually pretty good.
Well, let's get to the proper show here. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title Match. Catch 22. Francisco Akira and TJP defeat the team of Leo Rush and Yo. Repeat of the opening of the Best of Super Junior Tag League or whatever it's called. I didn't think it lived up to that first match. But I thought this was very, very good. Leo Rush busted open very early on, very bloody.
The
hard way. It looked great.
He missed Bola.
He missed Bola because of it. It looked fantastic. I thought Akira and TJP did their job great in here. I thought Yo worked well. Rush, obviously, as a sort of hot tag babyface in that instance because of all the blood, I thought also worked well. Again, I don't think it lived up for me to their first match at the beginning of the tournament, but I think this was still a very good match.
Good opening to the show, I think. This is how you kick into gear that this is Wrestle Kingdom. It's part of the reason I like one-night shows better, because these have the ability to give you a good taste of what's to come. I agree that it wasn't as good as their first match, but with it being the way that they won, Catch 22, that is, it feels like there's potential for another one somewhere down the line. My ultimate hope is Leo Rush is in Best Super Juniors. That's to me the most important thing, because I think what he's done, he has been the best part of the junior division to me since he came over to New Japan. I think he's done some great work, and I think he's got. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't have him in contention at least for Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah, I think I would love that. I think honestly, any of the four guys would be
his dream match is with Hiromu. That's his match. That's the one he wants, and
any of the four guys would be great, but Leo Rush would be. Oh boy.
Also, Catch 22. By the way, I feel like I don't talk about them. I talk about Leo all the time, but they're great.
They're really good.
Yeah, Akira and TJP have really, really clicked. Akira's, we talked about him when he came in last year and how I thought he was going to be big off the bat. He didn't have as much success as I expected. He's still very young.
Yeah.
But this dude's going to be here for a while, and he's going to really stand out.
Yeah, I think Catch 22 was named after how old he is.
He's 23 now.
Oh, 23. Dang, Catch 23. But I thought this was a great little start to the show.
Yeah.
IWGP Women's Title Match. Kairi defeats Tam Nakano. Now, we talked about in the preview that we were really hoping for a 10-minute, 15-minute match, but we didn't get that. We got 5 minutes and 47 seconds. I did say in the preview that, hey, even if they don't get the amount of time, they're still going to kill it. I thought they killed it. And more specifically, Tam Nakano to Kairi. I thought she almost killed it. I thought this match was really, really good. I thought they just went out there, had a short sprint, a massive power spots, with Tam. I thought this match was really, really good. I really liked it. What do you think of it, Scotty?
There's good and bad here. The good is that no matter the time they went out there, they killed it. They did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
The bad part is that what are you trying to do with this title? Right?
Yeah.
The first time it was ever on the line was the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The second time is a 5-minute sprint. Now, don't get me wrong.
Second match on the card.
It was a bomb chucking sprint, and they did their best to maximize those 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And I thought they did a really good job for the time that they were given. And I think some people are sometimes blind to how good a short match can be.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the better short matches, sub 10-minute matches I've seen in a long time. It's just the problem is you're trying to establish this title. You're trying to establish stardom in a lot of ways. So you have the match go 5 minutes. Like, I think you could hit 10 easily, truthfully. Like, you could have shaved. You didn't even have to shave time off other things. That's the funny thing. Like, you have this. The Tokyo Dome's yours all night. 4 minutes wasn't going to kill you.
It feels like if Monet didn't make an appearance, it would have got more time.
Maybe, but like it would 4 more minutes? So like obviously you're taking Monet over that.
100%.
I think that's my one complaint over all this, but I do think that they did a good job, so it does fix it a little bit. But here's the thing with the IWGP Women's title. You need to figure out what you're going to do with this, because this title is about to main event another show.
I was about to say, is like, there's a good shot. I mean, I know that...
I think it has to main event.
I know that they've been like setting up the idea on like strong tapings and stuff with Jay White versus Eddie Kingston, and I fear that might be a main event match. But I mean, also, who's selling the tickets, man? Who's selling these tickets?
We also need to talk about this. Remember how the whole thing was, oh, we're going to have Stardom on more New Japan US shows, and we all thought that meant strong.
Yeah.
But it seems like they more so meant these big pay-per-view shows ultimately, which is good. It's good. But I do find that interesting how it's kind of flip-flopped from them being on tapings instead going to go be on these live shows, as we saw with the Nightmare on 44th Street or whatever the hell that show was called, Rumble on 44th Street.
Yep.
Nightmare was the night before. And then now with Battle in the Valley, you have this, and of course, as the worst kept secret happened after this match, the lights went out.
Yes.
Screen turns on. New song hits. You have her saying money. I actually like this theme song.
I listened to it like 10 times already.
I did too. I actually really like it. And I think Sheila really likes it too, based off of how many times I've seen her post it. But she walks out. The crowd roared. Yeah. So the crowd did give a shit. I know people were like, "Oh, they're not going to care." No, they cared.
Well, Booker T was concerned.
Yeah, sorry. She walked out. She looked like a megastar. She was the megastar that we kind of expected. She walks in there. Yeah, she messed up the move. By the way, shouldn't be the move you're attacking people with to begin with. But that didn't really ruin it for me. And then she says, I'm the CEO of New Japan Stardom's women's division. She did say that in the post-match. I was like, all right, well, you'll figure out Stardom's not a women's division. That's their entire company.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness,
I mean, she's
gigantic.
I mean, she's not getting paid through Stardom. She's getting paid through Bushiroad. In her defense,
no one's getting paid through Stardom. Everyone gets paid through Bushiroad.
Good point. Good point.
But overall, it's a huge get. Like, she's already doing big things for you.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Kenny Omega deserves a lot of the credit for the viewership as well.
Yes.
But Mercedes does too. I watched that day.
Hold on. And Carl Anderson. You got to throw him in the bunch.
I watched that day so many people scrambling to figure out, how do I watch this show with Mercedes showing up?
Yeah.
How do I watch this show? It worked. Biggest number New Japan World is done, 93,000. That's not counting the people who went back and watched it after. That was just live.
Not counting people that already had subscriptions and whatnot.
Right. So gigantic for them. And she is going to change this for them. Like, whether we like it or not, I think we do like it. I don't know who's sitting here saying Mercedes Moné is a bad thing. She just had the presence, the aura. She's going to do whatever the hell she wants to do. I think people need to realize that.
Yeah.
I still have a feeling there's a good chance she's showing up in AEW whether it's this week or eventually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got to
the way they played it, it does feel like it's still happening.
Yes.
But because you can't drop that bomb, or you can't do that and then fail.
Yeah. I mean,
but either way,
what if the gimmick obviously is, we're thinking Toni Storm is going to be in the match and all this stuff, and Saraya picked Toni Storm, but obviously Sheeta's upset. So I remember seeing people like fantasy booking the idea of like, oh yeah, Sheeta is going to beat up Toni Storm or whatever. We're going to heel Sheeta. Yeah. And I'm looking at all this, I'm like, why the hell is Sheeta going to beat up Toni Storm? What's Sheeta's beef with Toni Storm?
She should beat up Saraya.
Yeah, so wouldn't that be a better match? Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné?
Yes, anything where Saraya misses the match.
That would be a fantastic match. So yeah, I think that's more likely than anything else.
Part of me does wonder if they hold the Mercedes thing until the match is over, because I'm just wondering what she wants her first match to be in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I could see it. I don't know. The one thing about Mercedes is she's an unpredictable person, right? Yeah. Like, she actually did this. She actually did the thing that a lot of people didn't think she would do, and go to New Japan, go to Japan, and I'm excited. Like, it's just exciting. And you and me talked about this months ago. I said she's the biggest free agent you can add to change a lot of things, let alone change, how people look at Stardom and New Japan's women's section of the IWGP Women's title. But I mean, if she goes to AEW, she changes the game for that division.
I mean, I don't think I've said this on the show or anything, but like,
Britt Baker's no longer the face of that division.
No, it's Saraya. Obviously. No, I haven't said this on the show, but like, I think you would agree with me on this, is that I think that she's had a really great book here before, but I think this potential run, and if she doesn't go back to WWE and she stays in AEW and all this other stuff, where she can really showcase her drawing power, I think this is her. And I think I really want her to view this as this sort of thing, not just cementing her legacy, but really cultivating a Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah,
because already going to New Japan Stardom, almost selling at Battle in the Valley, moving a shit ton of tickets, and all she has to do is now have great matches and continue selling tickets and all this stuff. She is now going to create the second half of her career a Hall of Fame worthy career, not just WWE Hall of Fame, but like a legit like observer. I think she has I think right now, if that trend, it's only one data point, so who the heck knows, but if that trend continues and she has great matches and continues selling out shows and all this stuff, then she's going to have a way better case of the Observer Hall of Fame than Flair, Lynch, Bayley. Easily. She's easily.
To me,
she might be the only horsewoman that gets into the Hall of Fame.
I think Becky will get in eventually. I don't think the other two will. I think she always had an interesting case, though, because with Sasha, with Mercedes, she, despite being held back in a lot of ways, she did a lot, right? She had multiple title reigns. She, in my book, has not only the greatest women's match in WWE history, but the greatest women's WrestleMania match in WWE history. She main evented at WrestleMania. To me, she is the greatest U.S. women's wrestler of all time. I've said that multiple times. But now, like you said, she's chasing that legacy. That legacy that she's talked about on Stone Cold's podcast. Like, I want to be the greatest. I want to be the best. And I think a lot of us agree you weren't going to do that until you challenge yourself now. That's also what she's doing.
It's also impossible to read on WWE's product. Like, no one. You can't tell if anyone's a star on that show. You can't. There's no.
I can tell she is though.
Yeah.
I think that she was always the one that's like in a lot of ways that she is.
Yeah.
Because she was like one of the only consistent viewership numbers we saw.
Her ratings were the only one that were really great.
Right. And now she is going to bring that elsewhere. And it's exciting. It's just so exciting. I do hope, I was up until she finally showed up, I was like, I don't care if she goes. I want her to go to AEW. I want her to continue to paint and continue to tell everyone why she is the best.
Yeah.
Because I do think she deserves that. I do think that, especially after WWE said you're not worth Becky or Charlotte money, she's going to make them pay. She's going to show that she wasn't only worth that money. Well, they're not going to.
She might literally make them pay.
She could. But I'm excited to see what Mercedes money does here, there, and everywhere, because this is very exciting.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe this is going to be a Drew McIntyre thing. Maybe this is going to be a Cody Rhodes thing where she goes out for a number of years and then she comes back. I mean, she's 30, so
she accomplished a lot more than those two did in her first run with the company.
Yeah, she's 30, so classic women's
depends how much she wants
age.
To run.
That depends. But she could easily. This could be.
She loves this.
Yeah.
So
this is. I truly think that if these sort of trends continue, not really trends because it's not a trend yet, but if this sort of idea continues, I think this is her cultivating a Hall of Fame worthy career. And it just because she was at WWE, she became the biggest ratings mover. She was a way bigger ratings mover than the needle mover himself. Ironically enough,
she doesn't miss.
No,
like she doesn't miss.
And
she gets the opportunity. She doesn't miss.
I also want to defend her because that finish that she did, I agree that maybe not the best finish to do, that finisher.
It's not easy.
I will defend her, though. I think Kyrie was the one that screwed that up, not her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they probably... I highly doubt they've done it much.
Yeah, same.
Right? That might have been the first time they've seen each other, other than maybe backstage before the match, right? So it's like...
yeah.
It was a weird move to do. You should have just did the bank state. Or whatever the hell she get called.
Yeah, I understand doing something different, but still.
Yeah, I guess it didn't matter to me. It didn't ruin anything for me. It was like, all right, she's here. Let's go. But we have a lot of show to talk about still. So
yeah, let's talk about the next match, which was the IWGP Tag Team Title match. Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi defeated FTR. It was a Cash Wheeler, I believe, that got to the arena 30 minutes before the match was supposed to start. But I thought this match still was really, really good.
10 minutes of excellence, I thought.
Yeah, 10 time of excellence.
Yeah. I think...
go ahead.
FTR... I know people don't like him now, or just don't like Dax. They don't like Dax. Let's be serious. I don't think anyone has a problem with Cash Wheeler.
Cash is getting residual heat for no reason.
But this is the best tag team in wrestling, and they went out there with Bishamon and had a really exciting match. I think this is the match. The crowd really got into the show when Tam hit that when she hit the violet screwdriver, and they like, whoa. And then it felt like after Mercedes, they were into it, and then this match, I felt like they were on the edge of their seats too. It's just like, this was a really good sprint in a lot of ways, I understand why Bishamon won.
Yeah.
But FTR, what a year. What a year they had. They can close the book now on the best year of their careers with this match, with the losing of these titles. And here's to hoping they're on their way to winning AEW World Tag Team Gold. I think that's where they should be going, somewhere in this story. Though I think there's a lot of teams all of a sudden that deserve those tag team titles, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We obviously knew that Bishamon were going to win here because based off of Chris Sampson's stats, that it's going to be in the bag. It's interesting. I think, they set up in New Year's Dash that the next title challenge is coming from TMDK with Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. I think there's a good chance that they win that as well, since they're sort of now pushing TMDK, and just Bishamon playing that sort of transitional group. It makes sense also putting the titles on Goto and Yoshihashi is just sort of, getting off of FTR. And yeah, it's interesting because where does FTR go from here? We have rumors about contract stuff. There might go off. Maybe they'll do it.
This past week made me worry a little bit less.
This past week with what?
About them leaving for a bigger company. I'm not as worried about it.
I don't think they're going to go to a different company. I think at best it's going to be they're going to do like an NWA taping. I think
honestly, it's all a lie. They're just talking too much.
They talk too much. Boy, they never shut up. I think that's the best thing they'll do is they'll
Cash doesn't talk. I've decided.
Yeah, actually. Cash is in the clear. I feel bad for the guy, but I thought this match was really good. I thought they worked well together.
I didn't think anything on this show was bad. The main card, I thought, even the worst match, the match that I was fearing the most, wasn't bad. So
agreed. Let's keep moving along. NJPW World TV Title Tournament final match for the title. Zack Sabre Jr., newly minted blonde hair, defeated Ren Narita. Sort of an upset win in a weird way. Everyone was sort of we all pegged sort of Ren Narita as the big old winner. I know Chris Sampson mentioned something about.
I know I did.
Zack Sabre Jr., well, he's never won a title. Give him the title. Ren Narita doesn't necessarily need it right now, per se. He is, we might shooting up the rookie. I think overall what I also learned from this is not just the Ren Narita thing, but sort of they did it with Shota Umino. They didn't do a full-on push of the youth movement. They did a little bit of it, but not all of it.
Yeah, they pushed the ace, not the supporting characters.
Yes, and I think they obviously now knowing what they did with Zack Sabre Jr. makes sense. He wins the title. He joins TMDK, the new faction leader. So they're obviously pushing the faction as well now. So I knowing that now in hindsight, 100% makes sense.
The title. Not that I expected it.
No, I thought the faction was dead in the ground.
Yeah, I thought the match was really good. Really good. Good showing for Ren Narita. I keep forgetting this isn't his first Wrestle Kingdom match because he did wrestle last year.
Mm-hmm. Who, Narita?
Yeah. It's like I keep wanting to call it his first, like, oh great, and I'm like, wait a minute, he fought Katsuyori Shibata, so nothing was going to be as big as that. But just really enjoyable match. These two are really good professional wrestlers. Narita's going to have a great career. He's going to have many of these types of matches since he's so young. But I think Zach getting a title is nice. He deserves it. He's long overdue.
Oh, 100%.
I give him the never, though. Like, in all seriousness, that's what belt I think you have a good run with.
Well, at this rate, no one in New Japan will ever have the title. It'll never be held again.
Never, ever be held again.
I thought the match itself was well worked. I thought Ren Narita and Zack Sabre Jr. had the thing that we talked about it before, but weirdly what my belief is that this title needs to be is almost like a high-speed title in the sense that it needs to be fast, it needs to be quick. We need to be moving, we need to be grooving. I want to see Shibata Ishii G1 matches. That's what I mean?
Well, that's why Narita Ishii was so good.
Yeah, exactly. Because it needs to be that energy of frantic. This is a sprint. We're gonna kill each other as fast as we can.
They haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah,
not everyone has.
I think Ren Narita could have nailed that more over Zack Sabre Jr. So I'm interested to see how it's gonna go, but we'll see how it comes out moving forward. Never
heel of him to just be technical the whole time.
I don't necessarily want to see that every single time because
I don't.
I don't want this to become the pure title. Never open weight title. Scotty got baffled. Never open weight title match. Tama Tonga defeats Carl Anderson in a sub 10-minute match. I think you and I were both expecting this match to be the pits, and I didn't think it was. I went 3 flat in this. I thought it was good.
I'm gonna say it. Tonga has a lot of power. He saved this. Carl Anderson was willing to play ball for his friend. Yeah, that's why this one.
I actually take that back. I didn't go 3 flat on it because the finish was wonk. It was they screwed up that gun
perfect
stun.
end to Carl Anderson's run here.
But yeah, no, the match itself I thought was way better than anticipated. Granted, my anticipation was the floor, like a 0-star match. So better
You
than
ready
that.
for a dud?
Yeah, I was ready for a big old dud. Now, to that point, let's discuss this. Carl Anderson back in WWE, never opening champion Tama Tonga, and also now Hikuleo. There are reports that WWE is interested in both of them.
Yeah.
Nothing for Tongaloa, but he's injured in defense.
I've noticed this, that Fightful, a lot of the times they've kind of said, oh, they've expressed interest. It's almost like they've signed them. I've started to notice lately. Mm-hmm. Like with a lot of the returnees that the WWE's had, they've been like, oh, this is going to happen.
And then like a week later,
then it happens immediately, right? Yeah. I don't think Tama Tonga will be that case. Mm-hmm. I just don't. I just think he's gotten over so well with this crowd, and I think they are willing to give him a decent run with the never open weight, as decent a run can happen with that belt. He's done such a good job. It'd be such a shame for him to ruin all that. And I don't know what he would do there in WWE that makes sense. Hikuleo, I wouldn't be shocked if signed. He's younger, obviously.
Yeah. He's a prospect, I guess.
It looks like that's what's happening anyway, so what does it even matter? Yeah. With the loser leaves Japan match. So
well, it's also interesting because if you're talking about Tama Tonga as never openweight champion and then interested, his contract would be up around the end of January. Obviously, you're not going to do a Wrestle Kingdom in Yokohama Arena because that's turning into a Noah or Congo versus LIJ show. But, I mean, there's there's New Beginning in Nagoya. That's at the end of January 22nd, right before the New Beginning Road 2 shows. That if he wants to drop the title, the never openweight title, and go to WWE, that's the show, right?
Yeah, just. I hope that they gave him the title thinking he will be back. No, or almost knowing he will be back or staying, not back. He didn't leave.
Yeah. Is there, I'm trying to remember, was there a feud set up for Tama Tonga?
No.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. I'm going through. I remember Chris Samsa tweeted out what he believes it's going to be. Oh, ELP. El Fantasmo. El Fantasmo, Tama Tonga, New Beginning Nagoya.
It's not what I'm asking for, but that's one that you can actually do here too in the U.S. So,
but you could do that in the U.S. But if you wanted to do that before Tama Tonga potentially leaves the WWE, have it drop the title and give it to rising junior heavyweight guy ELP.
I might be silly, but I don't think he's leaving.
I don't know, man.
He's gonna be just what he's been so loyal, and now they're behind him.
I agree. I completely agree. I wouldn't leave. Now the money's there. There's now that Triple H has brought in every single person under the sun that has recently been fired. He's bringing in Dragon Lee, possibly Hikuleo, possibly Tama Tonga. Who else is he going to possibly bring in? Jacob Fatu?
No one, because Vince is going to ruin it by then.
Yeah, I mean we're going to be bringing in every single Samoan under the sun. To join the bloodline.
I think with the uncertainty, it's hard to decide.
Yeah, I agree. If you're talking about it, go ahead.
Right, unlike Hikuleo's not at a level where it's like a big risk. I think for Tama Tonga, it's a big risk.
And also, Tama Tonga's up there.
He's 40.
Yeah, he is 40 years old. I mean, at best, he's going to the main roster and joining the club.
LA Knight.
LA Knight.
No, he'll be in the LA Knight range, I mean.
Oh, no. I think if anything, he's going to come to WWE and be a club member.
Great.
With Styles. Now that Styles is also out.
Great.
Carl Anderson, Gallows, Tama Tonga. Maybe they bring in Hikuleo as well. And that's what's going on.
I don't even think it's happening, so I'm not worried about it.
6-man tag team match, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Keiji Muto, and Shota Umino defeated LIJ, Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito. The match ended with pretty much everyone hitting their finisher, Keiji Muto hitting that Shining Wizard and then pointing to Shota Umino to get the pinfall. And he did. Shota Umino, we all thought in the best case scenario, he did it. Shota Umino gets the win and wins for his team. via Kejimuto should be said, but yes.
It is undeniable who the future ace of this company is.
Oh, 100%.
I've been saying it for months now.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was the perfect, like, all right, do you see it now? Do you see it now? We're gonna show you firsthand that this is our guy. He's getting it. He's getting it. I have fun with this match. I know people hate Muto, but I always have fun. Tanahashi, Muto and Sonata going crazy at the beginning, and Muto would be like, I'm gonna do the moonsault. Tanahashi, hey now. I thought that was great.
I love that. I love then Tana getting booed for it.
And they're doing Naito versus Umino, which is exciting. Down probably the New Beginning, whatever show.
New Beginning in Nagoya.
Whatever around the shows that Shingo's challenging.
Yes.
By the end of the tour, which is exciting. That's a great match for Shota to get a signature. Now, I don't know if he'll win, but at least he'll have a shot, right?
Yeah.
And I do hope that he thinks of his own finisher eventually. I think that's important for him. Not to forever copy John Moxley, because I think we are starting to find his way a little bit as more of his own guy. And I think that will be the next step. But yeah, I mean, no complaints here. It serves its justice, and you got a big win for Umino, who's going to be main eventing these shows very, very soon. So,
100%. I think
his G1 run, man, that's gonna be crazy. He'll get a few wins in the cup too, I think.
Yeah,
I think
I can see him.
I could see him lose to Naito.
I think his ceiling is Final Four at the New Japan Cup.
Yeah, they're going with him, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the New Japan Cup more so this year because there's a fresh,
there's a
fresh amount of talent. Though last year's was good.
Oh yeah, but now we're just throwing more guys in. Narita's going to be in there, and Shota Umino's going to be in there, and who else is going to be in there? Jake Lee? No, not him. There's AEW guys that maybe are in there.
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné is going to be in there. She's going to destroy it. I thought this was a solid match. It was fun. Showing will get. It
was fun. Yeah.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title 4-way match. Hiromu Takahashi won here, defeating Taiji Ishimori, El Desperado, and Master Wato.
I was pissed.
I don't remember if I tweeted this out or whatever, but I thought
it was boring.
I thought the match was fun. Match was really, really great. Really, really good.
I went devastated.
I thought the result of Hiromu winning is boring.
Oh, absolutely. It was. I kind of expected it. Boy, oh boy, did I want Master Wato to win. I wanted it so bad. And they did the job, right? They got it done.
Yeah.
People wanted that man to win. This is the best he's ever looked.
Yeah.
This is the best Master Wato's ever looked. He stepped up to the plate in the biggest match of his life, and he was the star of the match.
Yeah.
Credit to him. I don't even remember Taiji Ishimori in this match.
Well, he purposely did not want to be involved in the match. That was his gimmick in this affair.
Fitting of his title reign, though. I think Wato is great. I think he's the reason this match was as good as it was. I don't think it was as great as some people had it, because I thought the beginning was a little slow.
No, I see Dave gave it 4.5 stars, and I disagree. Like I had like 3.
He gave Kaito and Kano that, and I think that is very different. I very much disagree.
I'm like 3.5.
I thought that was so much better.
Maybe
I thought that made it. I think that's fair. It's definitely not 4.5. Anyways, Master Wato looked great. I'm in agreement that this is a boring way to go, but it's also expected. He hasn't been Hiromu hasn't been champion in a long time for their standards. Let's see if he can figure it out. I don't care enough.
I don't care about Hiromu at all.
Me either. I said last year on this show that he's washed.
Yeah.
He had that great match with Taiji Ishimori, that I remember slightly.
It sounds like you barely.
I remember not liking that match as much as a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's disappointing. It really is disappointing, because
I always am rooting for Desperado.
Yeah, same.
Because I just think he's better now.
Agreed.
Than everyone, but
He's just exciting. Hiromu, I agree. Like Hiromu has been like the same guy, same character since he debuted in this company, and that was what 2017.
Yeah, Kushida's gonna beat him.
Yeah, I think. That makes sense to do Kushida versus Hiromu.
That's the story they love. They've done that story. They want to go back to that story. You know, it's funny while we talk about the youth movement, junior division just doesn't have any.
Yeah,
because once Ren Narita skipped the junior division, seemingly it was like, all right, never mind.
Yeah, I mean they can swing him back, I guess.
No, why would you swing him back? I would not swing him back.
Well, even if you swung him back, well, apparently he is a junior. According to Cage Match, he's 83 kilos, so he is a junior.
I know, but he doesn't. He has yet to do any junior division action, even slightly.
I mean, Zack Sabre Jr. is technically.
We'll know if when the best of the Super Juniors come around if he's a junior or not.
That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess that I'm seeing those like weights and stuff. Is the World TV title considered like open weight?
Yeah, Ishii's challenging for it.
Good point. Good point.
The youth of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, and then let's get to the English side main event. Kenny Omega Will Ospreay, IWGP US Heavyweight Title match. I think we have to discuss the first thing we discussed about this match, Scotty. The ceiling that we gave it, that I famously gave it. Was this the best match in the history of professional wrestling for you?
No.
Same.
However, it is one of the greatest matches I've seen.
Yeah. It's up there. It's boy howdy is it still up there.
And when they have the rematch, that's possible, right? That is the art of Kenny Omega, I think, in a lot of ways. It's that's what he does. He's so creative, right? He had one of the greatest matches of all time with Okada. And then he had another one that went higher.
Yep.
And then he had the definitive. And that's kind of what it felt like to start here. Except this match I thought was better than the first Okada match. And in my opinion, better than the second Okada match. I don't remember the fourth one. Sorry, everybody. I watched the first and second recently enough that I remember. But this was so much different than I think anyone expected in a good way, right? It was about the story and the hatred between these two. And this is one of those times where you watch New Japan and you're like, man, they shoot wrestling better than, like, I think Brian Alvarez said it perfect this week, how New Japan shoots wrestling like a movie.
Yes.
Not like a wrestling match. He's like, yeah, you can take the production of WWE in every other way. You can pick whatever you want. When it comes to shooting a match, no one is better than New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think that's why this match it just elevates it another level.
They're always on top of every camera shot, always on top of just angles perfectly. Just so good.
Yeah. Kenny Omega in New Japan Pro Wrestling, I saw people getting annoyed by this. He is a different being. Okay,
not just a different being. This is an Omega we've never seen before.
Yeah, but just the entrance, right? The One Winged Angel Final Fantasy entrance and
Sephiroth.
That right, and he just feels like this. And he always felt like a megastar before. It's not like he left and came back and feels bigger. That's not what it felt like. It just felt like the man came home in a lot of ways. And then that entrance from Ospreay where it switches to elevated, and he didn't call him the aerial assassin. He was just the assassin. We'll never hear that song again, by the way, because he lost. Well, I thought about that. I was like, oh well, I'm not bringing that one back. And then the match, and it's just it's elegant in that it has the pretty moves, right, that these two have, but it's so ugly in the right ways too.
That shot of a busted open, bloody Will Ospreay getting his head battered through a table by Kenny Omega is one of the most visceral images I've seen in wrestling. That in a non-deathmatch, environment that I've ever seen. Like it is. It was like seeing the young lions in the background. Like, holy shit! I'm doing this. I'm committed to this sport. It is wild because you're right. It's like they're not just doing showcasing hatred. It's like what is the most visceral move that we can do that will showcase hatred? It is let me bash your skull through a table. Cool. And then Will Ospreay sounds good, Kenny. Let's do it.
they 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 gave you a little bit of everything while trying to tell the perfect story of really just getting Will Ospreay over as this mega baby face in a lot of ways. Like Omega was booed.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to, like, it was supposed, that's what they were going for. But like mentally going into the show, that wasn't supposed to happen.
But you have to work so hard and be that great at what you're doing to boo the guy that is returning to the company after like 3 years.
Yeah. And Ospreay, like we said with the Jay White match earlier, his transformation to being this guy that everyone hates and everyone despises for reasons that aren't. A lot of people do hate him as a wrestler.
Yeah.
But just from the outside stuff, and now he's just becoming, with these big losses, right? The one to Okada in the G1 final, and now this one, it just feels like all roads point to him getting back to the top eventually.
Yeah.
And him losing was perfect. He needed to lose this match.
Yeah.
And that shot, you were talking about the shot of him just getting his head driven through a table, which is almost unbelievable. I literally sat there like, oh my God. But the image of him, a bloody mess, laying on the second turnbuckle as Kenny Omega is about to cave his head in with a V trigger.
Yeah.
Like, that was perfection. I saw some people literally getting bought into that Ospreay actually couldn't like move when he was trying. One of the times he like stumbled trying to get to the top. I don't know if he meant to do that or not, but it was perfect.
But that also just goes to show of like how good. Sorry to cut you off, but it just goes to show like how great he has in such a short amount of time. Ospreay has gotten in selling. Like there are people.
That was his biggest gripe.
Yeah, there are people who are also probably. So there's also some people probably dropping in for this match. I don't blame them, but there, you know,
good amount.
like Ospreay is not a flippy do guy. Like, he can still do that stuff, but he has gotten so much better in selling that people are like legit like. I think. I just think he just can't actually do it. It's like, no, the guy's selling, guys. He's doing his job.
And one of my favorite parts of the match, I have a lot, was when like they were I think was it Kenny that threw the V trigger and then Ospreay just like threw his elbow at him like a kind of almost weak hidden blade. I was like, that's great because it's like I don't have anything left.
Yes.
I just need to
like as he's falling, he's like,
yeah. It's like you don't see the hidden blade like that, so it was like, oh, like you think about it like that. And then the finish. I mean, the finish is perfect.
Yeah.
The Kamagoye into the one-winged angel. Are we kidding? Could he have written it any better?
Yeah.
And then he pins it 1, 2, 3. Phenomenal. Phenomenal match. This is Wrestle Kingdom. And they're going to one-up it.
This is Wrestle Kingdom, baby.
That's the scary part.
Yeah. With this match, with this 5+ star match from Dave, he's now Ospreay is now tied
6 1/4. Is that what it got?
6 1/4 is what he gave it, and it is the only time in the history of wrestling that I can remember where Dave gives a match 6 1/4 stars, and people argue with him that it's too low. Wild, but not just that, but it's also now that he's gotten this 5+ star match under his belt, he's now tied with Masawa, with Dave, as the greatest wrestler. And you also see that Dave is also saying that's not the best match in the history of wrestling. You know, he didn't give it 7 or 7+ stars. But yeah,
the thing is, everyone said, like all the Observer or just Dave / Alvarez said they held back.
Everyone said that, and we all had concerns of that. And I recognized at a certain point I was like, oh, they're holding back a little bit, but they still had a 5-star match.
I was gonna say they held back a little bit, but they still might have the match of the year.
Yeah, and that's just also how
which is unfair.
Just how great these guys are.
And Kenny in New Japan, I saw someone say that how like you have this guy face Orange Cassidy on a pay-per-view, and it's like, oh man, like when you think about it that way. But he's a different guy than he was when he was AEW World Champion right now. He's healthy again.
And he's also a different character.
Able to do New Japan again.
A different character as well.
Yeah. And I don't think we're going to talk Dash, but just seeing him and Okada in there for the just the tease, because we're going to get it again. We're going to get it again, people.
Yeah.
That is money sitting on the table.
Money, you mean?
Money, yes. Everything's money now.
It's money time.
It's so exciting. And he has a title, and he might face Jeff Cobb, and he wants to face Shingo, and all right.
Here we
buckle
go.
Up.
Strap
we're getting full on Kenny now. Like, Kenny's like, yeah, I'm defending this thing. Give me 4 defenses at least. That's all I asked for.
Yeah, I could see him doing defenses up until maybe Forbidden Door, and maybe he loses it there. You have to think
with him being trios champion. Assuming he has a little more freedom to leave.
Yeah,
once in a while.
Yeah. Which him also winning this puts that whole trios title match now into question as well. Of like, well, then maybe he won't win. maybe it is not as much of a slam dunk.
That's this week. Oh my God, Kenny, dude.
Yeah, that's this Wednesday.
Show up, buddy. Kenny,
like the Bucks took a week off while he was like, "Oh, I'll have a 6.5-star match or whatever with Ospreay in Japan."
A brutal match, like a legitimately brutal, physical, taxing match. Oh man,
match of the year, baby. It's already starting.
I honestly
don't. What's also crazy, I don't think that's gonna be match of the year.
No, because you think they're gonna go again.
Yeah. We're walking away from this
greatest match of all time yet.
Yeah. This has still potentially the greatest match of all time.
It wasn't a letdown though. It didn't hit 5 stars.
No.
Congratulations.
Yeah, still hit that 5-star mark, but like
still went over 6.
We're talking about like not the greatest match of all time. Still possible, and that still watching that match and be like, that's still not even the match of the year, possibly.
Technically, they're on pace to outdo Okada and Omega, because this is a higher rating than the first Okada Omega match.
Oh yeah, they might do 7.25, 7.5. I don't know. 8.
Why not?
What's the limit here? 8? I don't know. To 9, 10.
That's the funny thing. It's like, how do you go from 6.25 to 7?
What's the difference? There's never been a 6.75 star match. I don't think.
No, so it's like, what?
Yeah,
that's part of the thing. Like, what? I don't. All right.
Yeah, Dave is just saying that it is directly equal to one of the Okada Omega matches.
Yeah,
which I think was the Dominion one. I think
the draw.
The draw. Yeah, he says is completely equal to that one.
Draw, but whatever.
Which to that the draw has elements of like, oh, they held back a little bit.
Yeah, because they had to go an hour and 20.
Yeah, I can't wait.
What a show! What a show! Wrestle Kingdom's back.
Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan's back, baby. Speaking about what a show, let's do a quick little preview.
Yeah,
Impact, Hard to Kill this Friday.
Woo!
Get into it now. Why are we talking about Impact, Hard to Kill? We weren't necessarily planning on it. Vince McMahon was a big story, and
we were going to review it.
We were going to review it probably, because next week is going to be a slower week. But why are we talking about it? Well, one, the card's looking pretty decent, I got to say. But 2, this show is sold out. This show is sold out in center stage of Atlanta. Now, I was at the last time at Against All Odds. The main event was Josh Alexander versus Joe Doering. This was back late fall, I want to say, or summer, maybe something like that. Good, decent little show as well. Not a sellout. Maybe at best 50%, maybe 75% at best. This is and when I say that, like, we're talking like they sold a lot more tickets day of. This weeks before the show, like a week or 2 before the show, Bully Ray in the main event against Josh Alexander sold out apparently.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know if the tickets were cheaper or what. I didn't even get a chance to look at it.
I've actually seen people reaching out like, does anyone have 2 tickets? They don't want it.
Yeah.
So
And this is a wild show. I cannot believe.
I don't know how they did it, but I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. When I was looking at this, I was like, "Oh, actually, I think I want to watch it." And I was like, "Oh, it's sold out." Like, great.
Ridiculous countdown to Hard to Kill match they added yesterday.
Oh yeah,
and the one with Speedball.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So we have the countdown, which will obviously be free on YouTube. We got 2 matches here. We have 2 matches. They are one of them is a 6-way match, a next division free for all, which for a number one. Is it for a number one contendership? It doesn't appear like it is, but it is at least an X division match. Alan Angels
free for all.
Yes, Alan Angels, Yuya Uemura, Mike Jackson, Bhupinder Gujar, Mike Bailey, and Kushida. What a collective of people.
Can I just ask why we didn't do Speedball versus Kushida?
I'm wondering why we didn't do Mike Bailey versus Mike Jackson. The battle of the mics.
And then we could have did Yuya and Kushida in a New Japan Showcase match.
Or Angels versus Gujar. Now we've done all the combinations.
There we go.
But that should be interesting. I think Mike Jackson's just going to do this rope walk. Mike Bailey's going to beat up people. Yuya Uemura is going to look awesome. Angels is going to be a workhorse in this as well.
I'm going to watch it.
Good. This is also
Kishida's match is going to get me to watch it.
If I'm not mistaken, this is also Kishida's return match from hand, foot, mouth disease.
No.
No, is it not? What am I thinking?
Wrestled the entire tag league.
Oh, he did. That goes
it's his first match back here.
It really goes to show how much I did not watch the tag league. Oh, hot damn. Anyways,
Kevin Knight were good.
Yeah, where's Kevin Knight in this? Other countdown hard to kill match. The Death Dolls defending their Impact Knockouts tag team titles against. Oh no, it's not even defending. It's a trios match here.
It's just a match.
Taya Valkyrie, Havoc, not Havoc, Jessica and Rosemary against Tasha Steelz, Savannah Evans, and Giselle Shaw. All right, that's fine. That's not going to be.
I'm not going to watch it.
I'm going to say it's at best 2.25.
Admittedly, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. Falls Count Anywhere in Atlanta, so maybe there's a potential to have a roaming camera hitting the streets of center stage.
They're gonna find. It's gonna go so far out of Atlanta. They're gonna find you at your new house.
No, they are at best going to walk next to the Muppet Museum. That's around the corner. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe IKEA. That
would be pretty good. An IKEA match.
A little bit of a walk, but if they drove, maybe they do that.
What are we waiting for, guys? Why are we not having IKEA matches?
Yeah, what are we doing? But it's between Steve Macklin and Rich Swann. We've talked about it before. I've been enjoying Steve Macklin's work. Rich Swann has been solid, but Steve Macklin has been really good, I think. I just want Steve Macklin to win this, and then he can challenge Josh Alexander.
Steve Macklin should be the next Impact World Champion.
Based on the roster currently, I think I have to agree to that. I think he should.
That is what the roster currently sets you up for.
Well, there's Bully Ray on the roster, and I had to consider it for a second.
This match should be really good. Could be the match of the show.
And if they go to IKEA, then I am. Someone has to give me money. I don't know who, but someone has to give me money. Digital Media Championship on the line. The Digital Media title. Joe Hendry defending his title against Moose. I am not excited about this match.
That's the Joe Hendry way. Everything about Joe Hendry is great until the bell rings.
Yeah.
I remember the Adam Cole promo?
Which one?
About Karrion Kross.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I'm special. They just ring the freaking bell. Yeah, that's the opposite for Joe Hendry.
Yeah, Joe Hendry, I think, is incredibly boring as a wrestler. I don't think he's that good. Moose,
entertaining fella.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think Moose is the better wrestler in this match. Undoubtedly, Moose is way better. But yeah, no, Digital Media title on the line here. I don't know. I mean, it's probably gonna be Joe Hendry because people seem to like him.
What the hell happened to Taylor Wilde?
Taylor Wilde is now a witch.
I literally listened to an Impact podcast. What am I doing here? I know what happened to her.
She is now the Wild Witch.
First time I was seeing her.
I think she's the Wild Witch. Anyways,
I get it because Taylor Wilde.
Yeah. This was originally a triple threat match, and then they added Killer Kelly to this, but it is now for the number one contendership. Deonna Purrazzo, Masha Slamovich, Taylor Wilde, and Killer Kelly. I mean, this is a great looking graphic right here. Am I excited for this match? If it was just Masha,
I dare them to take Wilde and Killer Kelly out.
Well, I would have been okay. I think Taylor Wilde's pretty good. I think in a triple threat, she would be a good spot in here. Adding Killer Kelly, I don't know. I'm not sure about this one, guys. This is the first time she's competed in Impact since November. I don't know about this one, guys. I'm not sure, but sure, fine. It's a fatal 4-way. We can hide her. I don't know. But Deonna Purrazzo, my pick to win. Let's just put her back in the title picture. If not that, Masha. She's gotten better.
Don't have Masha win because I can't see her lose another title match.
That's also true. Let's see. Well, and also it sort of depends of who's going to win that match, but we'll get there.
Wins, no matter what.
X Division title match. Trey Miguel versus Black Taurus. They've had previously great matches, but Trey Miguel is now playing heel here versus Black Taurus as the baby face, if you can believe it.
I like Black Taurus.
I love me some Black Taurus.
He'll never win.
No, he's never going to win. I wish he did. I wish he won it to begin with, but Trey
Miguel.
Yeah,
me too. But no, we need a heel Trey Miguel.
Yeah, when
do you think they bring in Zachary Wentz?
Some point this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think some point this year. I think turning him heel is the start of it. Turning Trey Miguel heel because there's a chance that Zachary Wentz gets booed coming up. So why not just have him with Trey Miguel?
I've watched Wentz since he come back on a few shows. Still very good.
Still very good.
I know his problems are still very much up in the air of what's true and what's not. But I'm sure they'll bring him in. They Impact's at a point where they're gonna take risks on, not risk. I don't think he's gonna be a risk for them because I don't even know where Kimberly went. But is Kimberly still under contract?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, there you go.
I don't think she's wrestled in.
I think they'll bring Wentz. I think they'll bring Wentz in soon. I don't know why Myron Reed's still in MLW, but he is. If they could get the Rascals going, I would.
Yeah, I agree.
The Rascals never won the tag titles in Impact.
No, they have not.
That's insane.
It's insane.
What were they doing?
I think inserting the Rascals in here with Trey Miguel and Wentz would actually be a great thing for the tag team division. I mean, this is shaping up to be a real nice division, I think. You got really nice pillars, going right into the next match. 4-way elimination Impact World Tag Team title match. Motor City Machine Guns with the titles, defending against Ace Austin and Chris Bay, Heath and Rhino, and the major players. Ace Austin and Chris Bay are fantastic. Machine Guns are fantastic. You throw in Wentz and Miguel eventually, that would be great. I think major players are solid. Heath and Rhino are fairly solid, if not fine. But
should be a fun match.
Yeah, I think this has all the potential to be a very good match. Very fun match. Very crazy.
Machine Guns, baby.
Yeah, no, just look at that, Alex Shelley.
I'd crown Ace and Chris.
If they could, I would as well. I don't know if they will. I think you'll keep it on Machine Guns for now for a little bit. I think if you're going to crown Ace Austin and Chris Bay, you almost want them to beat Machine Guns one-on-one. But so I don't know. I think we'll see. I think they might be the final two teams here, and then we'll go from there.
That's what I hope. So let them cook.
Yeah, I agree. A singles match here. Newly minted Impact wrestler Jonathan Gresham going one-on-one against Eddie Edwards.
It's a fun match.
Yeah, nice little fun match. A little Honor No More stuff.
Last time I saw Eddie Edwards in a singles match, he showed me that he still has some Eddie Edwards in him. So
yeah, the dog was dormant for quite a while, but it has woken up.
He's still got that dog in him.
Yeah,
and I think Jonathan Gresham's out to prove a lot. So
yes, I'm very interested.
Good signing, by the way.
Good signing, great signing. I saw a lot of dialogue about he had a match on Impact where he just did a leg match against some sort of jobber and just destroyed the guy's leg for like 5 minutes. Apparently, it was very well received. I just love it. It's just classic Gresham.
Just destroying a guy's leg.
Yeah, that's all he does. That's all he does. Perfect. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what this is going to be. Now, this is very interesting. Title versus career. Jordan Grace versus Mickie James. This is the whole last rodeo gimmick that Mickie James has been doing. That she, if she loses her match, she is. Well, if she loses the match any other time, she will retire. She won all of her matches. She's getting the title match on the line, but it's title versus career here. So is Jordan Grace going to win and end Mickie James's career, or is Mickie James going to be your new Impact Knockouts champion?
I think Mickie James is winning.
What's that?
I think Mickie James is winning. And I heard this great pitch on Brace for Impact podcast, by Mike Gilbert. He said that Nick Aldis comes out and helps Mickie cheat to win. And then she can go against the career stuff after that because she's not retiring. Yeah. And then you have Nick Aldis and Mickie James as kind of a pair up, and then you could do Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham versus Nick Aldis and Mickie James.
Oh, nice little feud there. That could work.
I think Nick Aldis should go here.
I agree. I think Nick Aldis can go here. He's now a free agent, so he can easily go here and show up here. They're in Atlanta, so Nick Aldis will show up. Now, Nick Aldis will get cheered probably, but booed. Then he helps Mickie James win. Just have to make sure that Jordan Grace is getting the cheers here over Mickie James. So that's going to be a tough battle. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think that's a good idea. It feels very WWE, feels very Impact-y to do something like that. And I think that's might be right in the store. I agree.
Mickie wins.
I agree. I think there's a good shot Mickie wins. I don't necessarily see her as someone retiring right now, especially now that Nick Aldis is available. I think it's possible. I can also see her retiring, and that just we call it there. But I don't know.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, I think if Aldis possibly coming to the company, I think you have a better shot of keeping her around for a little bit longer, and then she'll retire down the road later. But
Speaking
then
of people that should retire,
we have our main event, which sold out the building. Impact World Championship, Full Metal Mayhem. Josh Alexander defending his title against Bully Ray. Some of the TV has not been this great for Bully Ray. He's definitely getting heat, but he didn't have enough heat to light a table on fire. I'm sure because they didn't do that, and that was part of the build in a way, that a burning table will be a spot in this match. Or at least maybe set it up, and then Josh Alexander's wife douses the flames or something. I don't know. Yeah, Josh Alexander, Bully Ray. Give me some thoughts.
If you're an Impact fan, you gotta be scared, right? Like, you gotta be shaking your boots. Right?
You say that, but it's sold out. If you're an Impact fan, you're into this, right?
I understand. Yeah, but no one wants Bully Ray as Impact World Champion. Yeah. No one does. Let's not sit here and act like that changed anything. Yeah, it's sold out.
Yeah,
sure. And maybe that's just because, I don't know, it's a good show. Hard to Kill usually does deliver. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But you got to be shaking your boots a little. That
there's a shot. There's a chance.
Josh Alexander is now the longest reigning Impact World Champion of all time.
Uh-huh.
So now we've hit a spot where he can drop the belt at any minute.
To Bully Ray.
Terrifying. I would definitely obviously have Alexander win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared because it's TLC, right? It's Full Metal Mayhem's just a TLC match.
Well, with chains, you can't forget the chains.
With chains. So like, Alexander doesn't get pinned.
Yeah,
you easily see that happen.
You put the guy through a flaming table. I don't blame him for getting losing the title after that.
It would be really, 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 really bad to put Bully Ray as your world champion in 2023.
Now we could flip it and have Josh Alexander. Maybe that's what you do. You have his wife Jade light the table on fire, Brandy Rhodes style, and then Josh Alexander superplexes Bully Ray through a table. That's always possible.
I can't believe this is happening.
I just know a flaming table is going to be involved in this match. That's all I know. And chains, and chairs, and of course steel steps. I don't know.
It's
will this match be good?
I have a weird feeling that Josh can make it good.
I think this match could be good. I do also think it will be wrought with bullshit. like there's you can do like old school territory stuff well, i.e. Jeff Jarrett, or you could do it like insanely over the top, i.e. Bully Ray. And he just goes way too far in it, and it just doesn't work for me anymore.
It's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, it's Josh Alexander. I like him, but Bully Ray, I have my concerns.
Dread has entered my heart.
But it sold out. It sold the show. I mean, I don't know if it was the money mover, but it's the top of the card there. So
it gets the credit.
I'll give it the credit. But yeah, no. I've Impact Hard to Kill this Friday on Fight TV. Not Fight TV.
We'll be reviewing it.
Yes, we will be talking about it next week, along with some other stuff. We'll be announcing the winners of the Count Out Year End Awards next week as well, along with sort of our year-end discussion. We'll also preview that Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Yokohama show. Got a lot of votes for it, but if you want to go vote for that year-end award, please head on over to twitter.com/countoutpod. Go to @countoutpod on Twitter. It's the pinned tweet right at the top. All you gotta do is click on it. It's a Google form. Click on it, and then you can go vote. I've already responded. I've already voted. So go.
Me too.
Scotty's already on top of things. Go vote. It'll also be in the link in the description of this podcast. So you can just literally, if you're listening, wherever you're listening to this, just scroll down a little bit, and there will be a link that directs you directly to the Google form where you can fill out your ballot for the year-end award. So please do that by the end of this week. And then we'll be revealing those rewards or talking about the winners this Sunday. I'll probably reveal them on the Saturday, but we'll be talking about them a lot on Sunday.
We got a lot to talk about next week. Got Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill.
We got AEW Dynamite in the Forum.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna
Yokohama Arena.
Yeah. Is that next weekend? No, it's not next.
That is not. That is not this weekend. That is next weekend. Yes. There's the 21st.
Got it. So we'll preview that.
Year-end awards.
Year-end awards, and we're gonna talk about the companies, and we might bring into the show, might get rid of. Will get rid of. For certain ones. Yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. Should be a very good show.
Year-end show in the middle of January.
Classic us.
To be fair, I think it's fitting.
Yeah. I agree.
You want to give everyone time to put their stuff together. That's why Voices of Wrestling puts out their Match of the Year ballots now.
Yes. Which I got our ballot.
I filled mine in last night.
Yeah, I got to fill mine in. But yeah, no, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week's of Ring Post Radio. Scotty, anything to plug? Match of the week. Give it to me.
Match of the week. Top Flight versus Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. I thought this was excellent.
For Rampage.
Yes, it was Rampage, baby. I think Top Flight is figuring it out big time now. And I also think Darius Martin is phenomenal.
Yeah. It's wild to think that he was the big prospect before he got injured.
I think he definitely has more potential as a complete wrestler.
Yeah.
I think Dante's obviously really good at the flying aspect, but man, Darius he has some emphasis on those strikes too.
Yeah.
And then Danielson and Moxley were just awesome, of course, because of course they are. I think my match of the week, it won't be coming from AEW next week because obviously we're going to talk about that whole show. But I'm sure there will be a few matches next week that are worthy of this conversation. Thanks to them.
Impact Hard to Kill.
Danielson versus Takeshita, man.
Oh yeah, that one too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think Dante. I think right now Dante has sort of hit his ceiling of what he is right now.
Yeah.
He has to evolve to get to the next spot. Darius is catching up to Dante, but even then, like if they're both at the same level, then it just phenomenal. I mean, their potential. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll win the tag team titles this year if we're doing predictions. Anything else to plug, Scotty?
Follow me at Scott E Wrestling. Make sure to check out Stardom Road this week. I haven't recorded it yet, but it is coming out Tuesday. I was gonna plug it and say like, oh, here's what I haven't recorded yet. We were a little late. Not late. It's just Christmas, year end.
Yeah, I don't blame you guys.
We're up into the buzzer, but it's gonna be done.
Uh-huh.
But make sure to check that out.
Episode 6.
Make sure to vote.
Make sure to vote. Year-end awards.
I want to see the right people win these awards. Whether I agree with them or not. I want to see the right choices win. I want to see collective agreements. I want to see Stardom win Promotion of the Year. I want to see all the right things. No favoritism here.
There's some interesting responses already. The votes.
I feel wrong voting Vince as like the number one. What the hell now? So.
The irony of that. For the most surreal moment is Vince stepping down, and then that being the possible winner. Like, well,
got ruined.
It was still weird last year, but now it's like
because I never thought it would happen. And this is why.
Yeah. It's
What's your match of the week?
My match of the week is going to be. It is also going to be from Dynamite, or not Dynamite, but also from AEW. It is going to be Bowens and Caster, the Acclaimed, versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. I like the Dynamite match more than I like the Battle of the Belts match. I love this match. I thought this match was great. I thought the Dusty finish and Jeff Jarrett's reactions were fantastic. just this over the top insane man I love him on my screen every single week.
When we say Jeff Jarrett was actually the best signing
of there's a good shot that Jeff Jarrett was the best signing of 2022 because we're going into new arenas, we're going to new states.
Swerve was signing.
Swerve is up there. Swerve is in top 5. Jeff Jarrett might be in top 5 as well.
You gotta redo your whole list.
Yeah, he it's fantastic, and
I am devastated. My King of Television is no longer the King of Television.
Samoa Joe. Yeah, he didn't last. He didn't last. He's still Ring of Honor television champ. He's still King of Television in a sense, but not here. But I thought the match was great. Vote in the year-end awards. Please go vote in the year-end awards. The
award show next week.
Award show next week. We want to have a lot of responses.
It was a lot of fun last year.
It was a lot of fun last year, and we have definitely some interesting stuff. And I'll get all the stats and whatnot that come out of the polls because we already have some interesting results, and I can't wait to talk about that with you next week. But we're definitely going to get more of the results in. I don't know. I think there might be a couple tiebreakers currently that we're going to need, so definitely go vote. Break some ties. And
I'll break the ties.
Oh, God. You can follow me on Twitter at RyanNC. Follow the whole show at CountOutPod. Rate, review, and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts. We would greatly appreciate it. And until next week, we'll see you all then. Goodbye, everybody.